Catfish Weekly here in Owensboro, Kentucky for Monsters on the Ohio. We got with us today Aaron Wheatley. By the way, we're at Bass and More. So, Aaron, how's everything going so far? You a busy man today?
About 300 mile an hour, yeah, pretty much, getting shirts, and I probably talk to 25 fishermen a day, trying to get them somewhere to eat, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to get bait, somewhere to do this, somewhere to do that. It's been a pretty hectic morning, that's for sure, but hey, that's part of it.
Yeah. How's the weather looking like it's going to be this week?
Just got a phone call a minute ago, and they're saying 10% chance of rain on Saturday, 9 mile an hour northeast wind. Should be a really good day to fish. A little cold front comes in tomorrow, second day of a cold front, so we all know that's normally a good thing. And I am getting reports of some pretty good fish being brought in. I'd rather have that happen Saturday, but you got to find them first.
You guys got anything for Aaron?
I got something for Aaron, but that's later on. Aaron, we can't tell you how important what you do for not only for the city of Owensboro and for all your sponsors, but for Catfish in general. It's that important to all of us, and we know y'all work really hard to get this done, and we all appreciate it. I don't know how many people from how many different states are here, but we're looking at roughly, my understanding is 150 boats. And, I have yet to find anybody that's disgruntled, unhappy. Everybody's having a blast. They all know what's coming, and they're all eager to get out there Saturday morning. And it's an outstanding thing that you're doing, and we're just excited to be here.
Well, we got a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D already scheduled. So, no matter what happens, we're going to keep this thing going as well as possible. We're going to have over 300 anglers from 20 states. We got 29 women fishing this tournament.
That is outstanding.
We got over 20 kids fishing this tournament. I mean, you want to talk about getting it out there and getting it recognized. The coverage that we're getting right now from the Owensboro newspaper, from Evansville news stations, I mean, on Facebook, I mean, this thing is everywhere right now. And to me, that's the key. You want people to know about what you're doing, you better put it out there.
Yes, sir, that's exactly right. Well, it's We've been out on the water. The water's been beautiful the last 2 days, and I know that I've talked to some guys that have put some really nice fish in the boat. From what I'm seeing, the fish being caught before the tournament are surpassing what I seen caught last year.
Yeah, I've been telling people all year long that the fishing's been pretty good around here, and I think guys are starting to see, hey, maybe Aaron does know what he's talking about, because it has absolutely been a good year in this pool, and the water hasn't been up, so those fish are still in here. They're here. Find them. That's the key. You find them, you're gonna catch them.
Yep, I think you're right, and I don't know how much this front will affect us, but it's going to affect everybody the same. So the strong will survive, and the guys that ain't supposed to catch them, they're not going to catch them.
That's right. If you ain't on them, you can't catch them. So you better get on them.
That's right. You got anything for Aaron, Chuck?
Yeah, Aaron. I'm very impressed. This is my first time here.
Yep.
You have been so informative, through the social networks and stuff, letting everybody know everything that was going on. I mean, from the time it ended last year, you started on this one. And I just feel like I've been here, 4 times before. Everything, not finding my way through town, but
right.
Knowing what's going on, and, everything that happens, any change, you're letting everybody know when fishing these national trails. The Cabelases, the Bass Pros. Most of the time it's hard to find out where the launch is going to be. You have to sit there and try to send them messages on Facebook and all this. They don't put out enough information. As far as I can see. But you've done a really fine job. Keeping everybody informed of what's going on, and I just see this thing getting bigger and bigger every year, and I hope to be here for it.
Well, you coming in here as a new guy and saying feel like I've been here every year is a big advantage for me. It makes things for me a whole lot easier. And I'm not going to say anything bad about Bass Pro, Cabela's, the Rising Sun, the Ironman tournament. They all do their thing, and how they do their thing is how they do things, and how I do things is how I do things. They are part of what we're trying to build here, and we're all trying to do the best we can. So, you know, I'm proud of every one of those trails, and you know, I will agree that I don't believe anyone does as much work on Facebook as I do, you know, because I'll be up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, still putting, all right, here's the guys from the ICA, here's the women, you know, here's the guys from Missouri, whatever I can do to get you guys recognized. You know, when people come to the weigh in, they're like, well, who's that dude? You know, they may actually be able to put a name with a face now, you know, and they may start to get favorites, and you don't know, you know, you may have someone with, you know, go Fudd, you know, or go Lyle, you know, because they actually gonna know who you are. And I think that is a pretty big thing. But it's a lot of work. A lot of work.
How many boats did you have right now signed up for this year?
124 boats are paid right now.
Right now, and we're gonna have probably quite a few that are gonna sign up at the meeting tomorrow.
I got 35 that are registered. I've had 15, 20 calls today. I'm not gonna put a number on it because I'm just not like that. I like to put the facts out there. But I'll tell you this, it's gonna be big.
I really think that if this rain falls off like they're talking about, the amount of people that just show up on Saturday morning is gonna rise considerably.
Well, they can't just show up on Saturday morning, so that's gonna be an issue because they won't be fishing.
Okay.
The captain's meeting is an absolute must. I've had several phone calls from some big time guys even, and you know, they're saying, look, can we just show up Saturday morning? You know, that's one thing about our captain's meeting. It's not Bass Pro, it's not Cabela's, it's not Rising Sun, it's not Chad's Ironman tournament. We do things a little bit different, you know. That meeting is probably the most crucial part of the whole tournament. Getting everybody on the same page. Because it don't take but 2 or 3 people not knowing what they're doing to screw that whole line up, you know, and you can't have that. So, you know, I told them, I told 10 other guys that called me and said, look, can we not come to the captain meeting? I said, no, you can't. You can't fish. And I'm not trying to be rude or ugly or mean to anybody, but it is a very crucial part of what goes on here. Very, very, very critical.
Aaron, what made you decide to start up this tournament in Owensboro?
Well, I come from a softball background, and I've been in sports my whole life, and picked up a catfishing rod, and I knew they were doing $260 million worth of work on my riverfront. I knew I had the best place in the country to have a catfishing tournament with that 2-tier setup. So you know, 2 and 2 equals 4, you know, and I promise you I'm not in it for the money, because it's not that. I'm in it to grow this sport, to turn it into what guys have been waiting for it to be for 20 years. I'm here to help everybody out.
Your passion is clearly showed. It's not for the money. It's for your passion of the sport.
Absolutely. You know, I've been through the regs, I've been through the tournaments, I've been through the haters, I've been through this, I've been through that, but I'm still the same old Aaron. You know, you come up, you approach me. It's not going to take me long to figure out if you're my kind of people. And if you're not my kind of people, then usually I will disassociate myself from you. But if you're my kind of people, I'm there for you 100%, 100% of the time. And I know you guys. I just met Chuck, but I've known Lyle and Fudd for quite a while. Y'all are my kind of people. And I think you can see that by the way I treat you.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
That's right. Actions speak louder than words. You can say whatever you want, but how you treat people, how you run things is what should matter.
I agree. Listen, I know that you're busy and you got a bunch of stuff to do. We're going to try to put some interviews together. Aaron, thank you for coming and spending your time with us today.
You're welcome. Be looking in the newspaper tomorrow. They're going to be doing a big article on the Monsters Tournament about you guys in here. I'm going to spit out as much as I can with the guy. You know, I don't know what they'll put in the paper, but there will be a big there was an article today. There will be an article tomorrow. There will be a big article afterwards. That's one thing about it. We definitely get the notoriety.
That's great. That's great. Well,
how's the city of Owensboro? Are they, you know, informing the other higher up governments about the incomes that they're receiving from these 3 catfish tournaments every year? I mean, I know there's 3 pretty nice ones every year. I don't know about any more, but
well, the Sea Arc is pretty much a swinging tournament. You know, it's going to go here 2 years, there 2 years, there 2 years, there 2 years. Now they can't inform them on the 2 years that they were here. The Bass Pro tournament didn't turn out like I would hope that it would. You know, we didn't have the boat count that we did. But as far as my tournament, when I went to the state representatives to fight our case, when I went to Kentucky Fish and Wildlife to fight our case, I had letters from the mayor. I had letters from the Tourism Commission. I had letters from state senators. I had letters from my sponsors. You daggone right what we're doing here in Owensboro helped change things.
So they got
Awesome, great
they got
job.
your back here, don't they?
Absolutely they do. I mean,
That's good to hear.
you know, I can go down there right now, and if there's something I don't like, make one phone call, 10 minutes, they're down there fixing it. One thing real quick I need to do, because you guys aren't real familiar with Little Hurricane, which we thought we were gonna have to use. 2 months ago, it was growed up with 10-foot tall weeds and the trees, and none of the lights was working, and it was horrible. I went out there today, there were 25 guys out there from the county. Grass is cut, trees are cut back, they're laying gravel below the boat ramp so no boat ramps get hurt. I mean, you don't think that that's respect from your county? That's absolutely, and they're not just doing that for me, they're doing that for, you know, everybody in this room, everybody on this camera. They respect what we're doing. What more can you ask for?
We drove by there yesterday, it really is impressive, it looks really nice, it's clean, manicured, outstanding. place.
Yeah, like I said, they were down there flat getting it. County Judge Executive Al Magley, I know you, buddy. Thank you so much for getting that done. Because if you read today's paper, it says Little Hurricane Boat Ramp grand opening for the catfishing tournament.
That's cool.
That says a lot.
That's right.
That's
Okay.
outstanding.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks
All right,
again,
Aaron,
Aaron.
take it easy, man.
Talk to you soon.
Chuck, good luck, man.
Live and local with Baker on ESPN Radio in Owensboro, Kentucky. And for the last 6 weeks, on Monday, we call it Monster Monday in Owensboro. Aaron Wheatley comes on and talks about the big fishing tournament, guys. And it's so nice to see you guys in town. Welcome. And these guys obviously have a show. And here we are.
Thanks for coming on to Catfish Weekly with us. What would you say the town has done, and how do you feel that it's embraced this Monsters on the Ohio tournament?
Obviously we have a huge tourism department and visitors bureau, and I've been a part of this sports community now for about 4 years, and Owensboro is recognized as one of the top 50 sports towns in America by Sports Illustrated. So that's a huge title to have, and to see these guys get as excited about Monsters as they do about their huge softball tournaments and the you know, we've got Kentucky Wesleyan College in town who's hung 8 Division II titles in the Sports Center. But it is so cool, guys, to see that Monsters on the Ohio is equal to any event we have in town, and the community, it really gets behind it and supports it. So it's part of, we've partnership with Monsters, ESPN has in Owensboro, because of, you know, there's so many great events that go along with Monsters. You know, there's not just catfishing, there's music, there's food, there's archery tournaments. So it's really a huge event, and I don't think we have another event in this town, guys, that attracts 20 people from 20 different states.
Yeah.
You know, that's saying something for you guys. I think Chuck came 600, or one guy I talked to this morning from Virginia, Chuck.
Right, Ray
Yeah.
Stitcher, yes.
Ray and Rennie drove 650 miles from Fredericksburg, Virginia. First time here. So it's a welcome, and it's a huge event for us.
Thank you. We listened to you with Aaron on the radio show, and the things that you're talking about there with the regulations and the tournament and everything else, and we really appreciate that you do that with him and help him out, and you know,
Yeah.
like you were just saying about the size, you know, the tournament and everything. It's really hard to believe that, you know, some people don't even realize there are catfish tournaments. You know, I talk to a lot of people, and they just say, "There's
Are you
catfish
kidding?
tournaments."
Yeah,
And
same here, Fudd.
it is really, really growing, and I'm glad to see that you guys are all helping support it.
You know, I was with Tommy Thompson, our state representative from Owensboro this morning. Obviously, he's in a campaign, so he was in the studio cutting commercials, and with Tommy and I were talking about catfishing and regulations. Now, this is a state representative, typically wouldn't know nothing about the slot limits for catfish in the Ohio River, but he was one of those guys that really went to work with Aaron, realizing, you know, he was using the language. Those commercial guys are right in the Ohio River. They're taking those big fish to pay lakes in Ohio and Indiana, and it was a real issue. So those guys got behind it. And Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, all nine of the commissioners voted unanimously that we're going to do this and we're going to do it now. And they took a lot of heat, because, you know, that was a very heated battle, both from the commercial guys and the rod and reel guys. And you can understand it. Those guys were making a living, but that was a resource, a Kentucky resource that needed to be protected.
Exactly.
And we have protected it. So Aaron Wheatley, you know, gee whiz, guys, it's amazing.
Aaron does a lot of wonderful things for our sport, and getting people to work with him, like the representative you was talking about. And people, them is the guys you need to vote for when election time comes up, because they're taking care of you, whether you see it or not. When they're standing up for your conservation rights, they're doing what they're paid to do and doing it correctly.
Exactly. And it worked in Kentucky, and, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it started right here in Owensboro, Kentucky, with Aaron Wheatley and Steve Douglas and those guys got it done. Chuck's your first trip, right?
Yes,
Welcome to
it is.
Kentucky, man. You're welcome.
I've really enjoyed it so far. Everybody's been just so friendly. Every time I stop, you know, I stop and get fuel. You know, 3 or 4 people come up and talk to me this morning, you know, at the fuel station. I mean, it's just great. Everybody's, you know, I just feel so welcome in the city.
That's great. We welcome you guys, and we're glad to be a part of what y'all are doing.
Has
Well,
the
we're looking-
ESPN, you know, thought about actually, you know, putting together a show and putting it on ESPN2 or something like that? You know, doing a show on the Monsters of Ohio and actually showing footage and.
Exactly. I've talked to the guys in Bristol about sending a filming crew down here maybe next year and have a special on Monsters on the Ohio.
That's where it all
It's
starts.
gotten to that point.
But it all starts in the living room. If people, you know, if people don't sit in the living room, they usually don't know about it because.
But guys, I want to tell you something. How exciting is that when you guys line up for that weigh-in? And I have the privilege of emceeing it. When y'all reach down in that live well, I mean, the anticipation of that is huge. And once one of those 50-pounders come out, you know, the crowd goes crazy. Who would not want to see that?
That's
Sitting
right.
in their living room. You know, obviously you know, I was watching a bass tournament the other day on a lake in South Carolina, and you know, these guys were catching 5 and 6 pounders. You guys are catching, you know, 70, 80 pounds.
As us catfishermen say, they were catching bait.
Yeah, they're exactly.
That's what Steve, the MotO